So you want to talk football? All right, everybody out there, going on. Welcome to another episode of Black and Gold Forever. It's a podcast for Steeler Junkies, so beware. I'm the Steel Pulse. I'll be quarterback up in this huddle here, so I keep it clean, but I keep it real. And I give you the scoop without the poop. So, in other words, we don't do any cussing here. We don't expect you to respond with any cussing, so you know the drill. You know how we roll up in this piece. We cover a couple of housekeeping things I'm going to have to get with you. First of all, the rules of engagement. We talked about no cussing. And I generally don't respond to name calling and all that kind of belittling and such, so I wouldn't waste a whole lot of time on that if I were you. Now, I do encourage video responses or audio recordings of your comments or what have you. But if you decide to do it written, that's fine. Just make sure it's well written so that we can at least interpret what you're saying. If you give a video or audio response, please try to limit it to a minute or less. It just makes it more efficient and easier to respond to things when they're done that way. All right, so once again, you know me. I'm the Steel Pulse. Talk a lot about the Steelers. That's been my team. I roll with them. Do or die, so, but today, who I got with me is my brother. This is my younger brother. He's about 2 years, 7 months younger. Well, he won't let me say he's just 3 years younger than me. No, we ain't gonna do that. And I'm not relenting talking about he's just 2 years younger because October will roll around.
Very soon.
Yeah, I'm gonna be 3 years older. So for right now, 2 and 7, and of course we grew up together. We have a very profound and extensive history with sports in general, and we'll talk a little bit about that, about history and all, And so we grew up with sports, and sports have always been like a foundation of, like, kind of who we are as people, right? Mm-hmm. My whole life, I know, up to a point, was centered specifically around it because that's where my talents lied in that, primarily was in sports. I could do other things. My brother could do other things, but I don't think sports represented the same thing to him as it did to me. But he certainly was familiar with sports, played sports.
Sort of like a Stephen A. Smith.
Yeah,
I didn't really play a lot of sports. I love sport.
Right. So I can actually say though, and again, tell me who you are, man.
My name is Julian Locke. And like you said, he is my older brother. I'm currently living in North Carolina. I am a Giants fan.
We can't all be winners.
I'm a Giants fan. I love the Giants. I love what they represent as a team, and that's my squad.
All right. Yeah, see, there you go. So now y'all know we grew up in a divided household. Right. You know what I'm saying? And me being the older brother, from time to time I take liberties to just go ahead and chastise him for that foolishness. But anyway, I want to at least go back, man. We go as far back. I can remember 1969. What's about the earliest year you can remember as far as football?
As far as sports is concerned, as far back as I can remember, I can't pinpoint an exact year, but I know it's the early 70s.
Mm-hmm. What's some events that go along with that time period that you can just recall, like events?
I remember O.J. Simpson with the 2,000 yards.
Yeah, you don't remember.
Game he ran in.
Hope is our grandfather. He used to be a policeman in New York City, and he would get us to a variety of different events. And do you know, I was at that game.
I didn't know that.
I was at that game. That was the last game of the season. It was at Shea Stadium. We're from New York City, right. And so we grew up in the boroughs of New York City. And our grandfather would get us gigs, and that was one. He got free tickets because it was the last game. It was the Jets.
The Jets, they played
playing the Bills. I was like, who? But the thing was, the attraction really was when OJ came into that game. People knew he needed
200 and
he needed a lot of yards and he got it.
And the weather was crazy because it was blizzard.
My feet froze. I stood outside though because I wanted to see, what the crowd would do. I was a little boy. I was about 7, 8 years old, and I wanted to see what the crowd was going to do if he actually did. And I was just that intuitive about sports. I knew what that meant because I knew who Jim Brown was. I never saw him play, but I heard who he was. He was in the little books. You go in the library and you read the.
If you followed sports, you knew Jim Brown.
You knew Jim Brown. All right. So O.J. Simpson doing anything on the level of a Jim Brown was significant. Right. Even I, as a first or second grader at that time, knew that, and we collected the cards and remember that.
Like the cards.
But anyway, so it's the early '70s.
Right.
And I'm very late. I'm exactly 69. Okay. I can tell you stuff from after Martin Luther King was killed. Okay. When that happened, I was kind of cognizant of what that might be because everyone made a big deal about that. Right. So I can remember when Joe Namath ran out the stadium. Right. When they won the Super Bowl.
That was a little before my time.
I remember the amazing Mets. When they won this World Series in '69, I do remember. I didn't watch the games like I eventually.
But our grandmother.
So now you introduce. Did you know that Nana is what we call her? So did you know that Nana was how I got involved with football to begin with?
No, I didn't know that.
Because Nana was
I know she loves baseball.
Yeah. Nana was a baseball fanatic. She could tell you all the way back, Jackie Robinson, Babe Ruth, all that stuff. So
she said she played when she was young.
She played. All her brothers played in the Negro Leagues. Literally, we got 3 uncles, great uncles, who played in the Negro Leagues a long time ago. And I had one. He couldn't even believe that. Like he came to one of my games and I struck out at some point at the plate or whatever. He's like, "How you strike out?" I was like, "What do you mean how you strike out? Dude threw me high, tight, dropped me low, and boom, and I took one, call a strike, I'm done." "What do you mean, how?" "It happens that he's like, "Nah, I ain't never struck out."
Really?
I'm like, Uncle Nathaniel. I said, "Nathaniel, you gotta be kidding." Everyone strikes out. You're gonna miss one here and there. You never faced Nolan Ryan.
Right. Tom Seaver.
I don't know where you maybe back in the day you had Satchel Paige, I guess. I don't know, but
he was whipping people out.
I remember. But anyway, so the story goes. But anyway, Nana introduced me to football. She wasn't a fan, but she had it on TV, in Queensbridge.
This is something that's new.
You remember Nana had that TV that stood on the table, and they had the washing machine in Queensbridge. Okay, well sometimes the game would come on because there was 2 channels in New York City where you watched the game. Channel 11, right? WPIX. And then you had WOR, which was Channel 9. So on 9 was the Mets and the Jets. And on 11 was the Yankees right. So now Nana would very rarely have that bad boy on Channel 11.
She's watching the Mets.
So when football season come and she turned to Channel 9, what's she gonna see? You don't see no baseball after a while.
Football.
So the game would be on.
I never knew that.
But that wasn't her thing. When we come over, which would be on the weekends. It would be there. So Nana didn't care if I watched the game. She couldn't tell me jack about it except what she already knew from times old with the leather helmet days.
With no face mask.
She could tell you about Jim Brown, the black ball players. Yeah. Because that would make the news. That would be something.
That was a big deal.
Yeah. People paid attention to that. So, but that's how it started. And then I would watch the game. And then we go outside because we live in another project, Linden House out in Brooklyn. So we would go home and the kids would be outside playing. And I said, that's the same game I saw them doing on TV. So me being me, eventually I'm trying to figure out how I can get from out the apartment house, off the terrace where we even allowed to go outside. I want to get downstairs when they playing ball. I want to see what that's all about. So that's how it started for me with football, because the kids was outside roughing around, and I like being a little rough, and I was as big as some of them, but I was never as bulky. I was always a little skinny little kid, but I'd be their size, and they'd let me play with them because they didn't know I was as young as I was. but I always had speed. That was the thing, and I was tough.
And could catch.
Yeah, well, the catching thing, I don't think believe it or not, that wasn't a skill I developed right away. But I was known for tackling, hitting, being aggressive, that kind of thing. And so even when I got to high school, most of my prominence came on defense. And now you used to go to some of my baseball games, but I don't remember football season seemed like you be somewhere else.
Football, I didn't really start going to any football games till you played when we was at Josie. You and Michael Vaycock and all them, Stephen Frail. During that era, it was always
high school at Josie.
Yeah, it was always.
So when you did,
it was always baseball.
Right, yeah.
To me, I thought you was going to be a baseball player. Football caught me by surprise.
Right. Well, in our neighborhood, man, I was known for both of those. Basketball was the one sport. I didn't play a lot. I didn't play basketball. I was just.
But I know when we were growing up, as when I started playing, I was around the Steuben Street.
Okay, Staten Island. Yeah.
When I started. Big enough to play. I mean, when we was in Steuben Street, I was in kindergarten.
Yeah.
I'm gonna say Wartman Avenue.
Yeah, it was small.
Yeah, right. Playing no football.
5 years old.
I just follow you around.
Right. And see, that's another thing. I think that played a big role in how you got involved with sports.
Following you, I didn't have anybody else.
Yeah. See, I got into sports because of Nana and Javon. Javon got me into baseball and stuff. He played softball and stuff. But once he started with the music thing, he kind of left sports alone. He strictly, you could see that was where he was, he had a very small age. But he still knew how to play. He taught me, he got me outside, toughened me up with the football and all. But by the time I got to, I want to say junior high school, I was deep in sports football because I was talking about being the best player in the school, that kind of thing. Everyone coming looking for me, talking about, come on, can you want to play with us? And because back then we would still barnstorm. We go from neighborhood to neighborhood and beat people up in football, and they'd be like, our little skill.
We learned to play in the street.
They call me the Slender Bender.
Yeah, you put sideline on them by the
I tell you, behind up. So that's why I got a reputation for as in terms of football, and then parlayed it into high school career. They got me scholarship offers, stuff like that. And I know you had played in.
I played rec ball, rec football. Then by the time I got to high school, remember I tried out for the league, and then had some conflicts of interest with our grandparents.
Oh, right. Everybody go and let you play the rough sport.
I joined the band.
Yeah. That's why.
That was the end of my
That's kind of
that was it for me.
Yeah, but I remember you as having a lot of skill with football and basketball.
Playing running back.
Yeah, I remember that. Yeah, I remember. And but for me, because I lived primarily with one of each of my parents. Somehow I lived with my grandparents for a little while, but when I got older, but so I could extend that a little bit further because Nana wasn't. She'd let you watch it, but she wasn't really.
No, she wasn't going to let me play.
Especially if she was responsible for what happened to you.
Right.
Yeah.
So I joined the band.
Right. Much. Which was a wise choice because you were able to excel in that. So that was cool. But anyway, now. You're a Giants fan.
I'm a Giants fan.
Now, what are some of the more prominent historical things you know about the Giants?
Very easy. First of all, the Giants is one of the oldest teams in the NFL. One of the oldest. There wasn't very many teams before there was the Giants.
So that just means y'all been losing for a very long time.
But before it was the actual NFL, we have multiple championships.
Championships?
Yeah, before they came out with the Super Bowl, like the Vikings and the
yeah. Championships. They were winning championships.
We were winning championships before there was a Super Bowl. So
we playing the greatest game ever, right? The
greatest game ever.
They played in that game.
That was us. So we've been winning for a while now, So we've been winners, You know, naturally,
Y'all win that one?
We won that one.
The greatest game y'all
the
won?
greatest game we won.
Thought the Colts won that.
No, the Colts didn't win.
The Colts didn't win.
Pull it up.
Now you see something. Now you see how you messed up your marriage. I see what I'm saying. No, I thought that's what you're saying. You messed up now. You know that.
I will look it up later. I'm not sure. But anyway, I know Johnny Unitas was in that. He would have had something to say with all of that there. Don Amici and all that with his hands up.
Yeah, but he couldn't even beat, he couldn't.
Nah, well, by then, he was busted up by then. he barely got a chance to play in anything. Yeah, both the Super Bowls the Colts played.
He's
an old man for both of them. You know, but he's a legend.
He is.
All right, so the Giants, man. So, when do you think was the best time to be a Giants fan? What was the best era? I mean, y'all had what? Y.A. Tittle? Was that
Y.A. Tittle? But to me, my personal opinion, the best time to be a Giants fan.
Really? Like, this is a good time to be a Giants fan.
This is good. But I would really have to say around the 90s.
The 90s?
Yeah, I say that was, we won a Super Bowl in '86, but, we got LT, but it just seemed like the 90s, that was the greatest time to be a Giants fan.
I got you. We had Carl Banks.
Yeah, we had Carl Banks. We had LT. We had, matter of fact, our whole
Dave Megan.
Yeah, our whole front four.
Touchdown maker, Stephen Baker. Somebody you know personally, right?
Stephen Baker. I have the autographed picture.
Yeah. Okay.
And everything.
So y'all was really doing it. Dave Hostetler days.
Dave Hostetler. You know what I'm saying?
All right.
Yeah, we
So what's the deal now? So what kind of legacy we working with now as far as the Giants? How do Giants fans feel? Because you got to know a lot of them. My sister's a Giants fan.
Yeah. I mean, I'm part of an organization called G Thing. I'm part of the group. We're going through something right now.
What do they call that? A rebuild?
Yeah, it's a rebuild, but I'm not going to sit and bash my team. I just think some decision making in the front office could be a little better.
Got you.
Especially when it comes to the coaching, I think.
The coaching. Yeah, y'all had one for a couple of years there. What was the fella's name? The one before they got now.
The one that took Tom Coughlin's place.
Yeah.
I don't even remember what his name is.
Yeah, left him behind already.
Yeah, because, man, I'm not in the front office, so I'm a fan. So I just think
Joe Judge.
I just think they're making poor choices in the front office. I think the coaching could be a little better.
Oh man, okay, I'm with you. What about how y'all feeling about your offense? What's going on offense now? You got one of the best backs in the league.
Yeah, we got one of the best backs in the league, but we're having health issues. None of our starters. By the time week 5 comes along, all our starters, and I mean we did pretty good with what we had our backup.
Yeah.
That's been a big issue last season. The guys staying healthy, Sterling Shepard.
Y'all had a lot of injuries last year.
Yeah, we had a lot of injuries. We had no starting receivers at all.
Wow.
Saquon pretty much had to carry the.
Yeah. He didn't have as much health issues as
he didn't have it. That's what saved us. Because he didn't get hurt.
So what are you projecting for this year, though? I mean, what y'all looking like when you finishing up? Look at that division, man. You got the Eagles.
We're not really worried about Dallas right now.
Not worried about Dallas.
No, we're not worried about that. Dallas is doing some rebuilding too. Philly is the team you have to worry about. What they have going on. But I think with the proper coaching, I mean, we can be contenders too.
Okay. So y'all rolling like that. So y'all Marks Nixon, the Commanders.
Darn right. Oh, yeah, no.
They can't even figure out what the name of the team is.
Yeah, they don't even know what the name of the team is.
They only have trademarks for the name.
I don't even know who the starting.
Didn't they handle that last year? What's wrong with y'all over there, man? They don't have an owner, or maybe you do.
I'm saying. They got more things to worry about.
All their workers. They probably hit the basement this year.
So, I'm not really too concerned about Dallas right now either. Philly naturally is playing excellent football, offense and defense.
Yeah.
Coaching staff, everybody is in one accord.
Gotcha.
And that's where I'm hoping the Giants to be. I want everybody to be on the same page.
They bank so much on quarterback play, man. I mean, Jalen Hurts is probably a better quarterback
than Danny Jones.
Yeah. So y'all gonna have to show up something else. What's the defense looking like?
I want to get to where our defense is, because any game, if you're watching the games, which I know you do, all the games that we lose, 9 out of 10. If we lose 5, we lost 7 games last year. Out of those 7 games that we lost, 5 of them were on the final drive. We're giving up that last, we can't close it out. Our defense is giving up that 3rd and 8, and then you're giving it up. Our secondary is very suspect. You know what I'm saying? And we're losing games on final drive. We're losing games by a field goal. We're losing games by a touchdown because they're going downfield and with 1 minute, 12 seconds left on the clock, and they're scoring, giving up big plays, our secondary.
I know that's safeties. That's a big problem for my boys too, man. Is you got some horses on defense, but what Tomlin calls them splash plays, man. Those splash plays will kill you because you'll have a lead, and you almost like it's mind-boggling sometimes that you give up a 60-yarder. You've been holding these guys the whole game, or you got certain things under control, and then you give up that one splash play that puts them back in the game when your offense isn't generating a whole lot of. You can't afford that. When you get the lead, you got to have the lead and hold on to it. If you constantly last minute giving up these drives and then you can't produce that on offense, that gets you in trouble. So yeah, I could relate to that. We were a couple of plays from the Dolphins doing a little something from getting in the playoffs. You know what I mean? Yeah. We just needed help. We did what we needed to do. But see, being in that position alone, I mean, that's suspect. So I can certainly relate to that, man.
And I definitely think we need stop putting everything on Saquon, but we need another back. We need that 1-2 punch again.
Yeah, a lot of teams are focusing on
like Cleveland.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Chubbs and
Dallas did it for a little while too, as long as they could. Until they couldn't pay Ezekiel. See, that's where the problem comes in. Is when you bring in someone like that, eventually it's going to be a problem. If you don't produce in that little small window, that's going to be a problem financially, because now, like what Dallas had to do, they had to let Ezekiel go. It's like, yo, this dude here, he's producing superior to you. But if you're getting the bulk of the money, we'd like to have both, 2 backs with that caliber of talent, but man, they can't afford it. So
I mean,
you buy yourself a window when you do that.
Yeah, you're right. Because, like I said, Cleveland has 2 very good backs. And that's I just think, if you Saquon didn't have to run the ball 30 times in a game, you know what I'm saying? If you had somebody else that can,
I'm with you.
That 1-2 punch.
Well, look, man, I know I look forward to this upcoming season, man. I mean, I think I'm in the same boat with you. I got a few things I want to see, right? I want to have confidence in my team, but I want to be realistic about it as well. I mean, it's okay to be a fanatic. I get.
Right.
But I don't like building up. I'm not a fantasy minded.
Right.
You know what I mean? I don't
do the sport.
Yeah, I don't. I'm not the what if and he shoulda and the coulda. I don't know what shoulda. You know what happens if Jack Lambert, what's the fella? Henry Davis. That was the middle linebacker for the Steelers in 1974. He gets hurt. His replacement is Jack Lambert, right? So, but we could play all day. I mean, Henry Davis was a good player. He played for the Giants before he went to the Steelers, and he was a good, serviceable linebacker. He may have had some acclaim, but Jack Lambert takes your place. Now, you remember him.
Of course.
Everyone remembers Jack Lambert. So, you could play the what if Henry Davis never get hurt. Would the Steelers have won them Super Bowls? Because we know what Jack Lambert's contribution to those.
That's like saying what if Drew Bledsoe would have never got hurt.
You know what I'm saying? So we, it didn't happen that way. So I'm not running that through my filter very much. All I know is what did happen.
Right. Jack Lambert.
And I think that mentality affects how a lot of Steeler fans feel. Because we always go on, and we get a little criticism, believe it or not, of Mike Tomlin and stuff, because they say he had all this talent, how you didn't win, you shoulda. There's no shoulda. Right? You might think because you're 12-0, when you go play another team that's 7-5, that the 12-0 team should win. Why? There's so many things that happen on the football field that have nothing to do with should and would. Because if I reach this way, at the same time you decide to swipe at that ball, the ball falls on the ground. Doesn't matter how much talent I have. It doesn't matter that I practice doing something else and get a different result. You got that. That happened. You right?
Baltimore Ravens were 12-4 when they beat the 13-3 New York Giants. Creamed us in the Super Bowl.
Giants beat the Patriots in the Super Bowl.
We were 9-7.
What is it that people are thinking about that gives them the idea that the Patriots should have won?
Right.
Their record? Well, you all played different teams. Who's to say if you played the Patriots record, you wouldn't have been 16-0? You don't know. So, and you don't know if the Patriots would have got beat early in the season with the schedule you had.
Right.
You don't
know.
So there's no point in all of the shouldas and the coulda. The Giants beat that Super Bowl. In the story, we saw how it happened. You can have any supposition about what you think is supposed to happen. Look, if I bum rush your quarterback with what the Giants were bum rushing Tom Brady with,
it changes his style of play.
Yes, sir. Then what should happen then? What should happen is what you saw.
That's what happened.
See, so you can play the game all day, man. But I did want to get into talking about too just football in general, man. The direction. How you feel about what's football versus like when we were kids?
It's not the same. Now, I mean, I know money plays a big part of a lot of things, but to me now, man, football is just not the same, man. When we were growing up, guys were playing on the team till they retired.
Okay, so that's movement.
Yeah, Walter Payton, Barry Sanders, these guys were playing. Naturally, OJ at the end of his career, he went to San Francisco. Yeah. But for the bulk
that part was kind of common. Johnny Unitas,
right.
Deacon Jones went to the Charlie.
You played that when you get to Joe Montana at the end of this.
Yeah. I see what you're saying. Mm-hmm.
But now it's like you sign a 3-year, you're here 3 years, then you're gone, and you're there for 2 years, and you got it's just now.
Yeah, right? How does a DeAndre Hopkins wind up on his third team?
Right, and he's a superstar.
Yeah, that aspect of the game.
Yeah, to me, man, it's now everything now is just strictly about money. I mean, I know money plays. You want to make the most you can.
Right.
But I mean, you're not. Then you're wondering why you're not winning a championship. You're not giving the team time to even build. By the time you even get to where you're making the playoffs, now you're ready to leave to go to a team that's already you think that can make the Super Bowl.
Yeah, there's a lot of mobility, man. Yeah. What about the sport itself, like how it's played? When you're thinking
powder puff
come in the frame too.
It's softer. Naturally, you don't get me wrong. I know the safety of the players is most important, but it's after a while, it's not even going to be football.
Yeah, well,
it's going to be two-hand touch like we used to play.
They're getting ready to kick off. They're talking about getting ready to kick off. I mean, that was my play. That's how I got a college scholarship off of special teams. Mostly because.
So what are they doing now? They just going to place the ball?
Yeah, like a fair catch kind of. How the heck is fair catch?
Wherever you kick it,
something like that, where it lands inside the 5. You have choices of. All the choice I remember having as a kick returner.
Which way you gonna rub it out?
Right or left, yes, and go as far as you could, north and south. After you did a little east and west, you got to hightail it to wherever you're going. And yes, you was going to be a collision if you ran into other human beings. That was just we accepted that.
Like I said, I know safety is first and foremost. Don't get me wrong, but from the time you start playing football, there are some risks. It's like being a NASCAR driver. When you're in a car going 200 miles an hour, there is a possibility that you can not only get hurt, but lose your life.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And the same thing with football. Naturally, some things you had to remove. At the horse. Back in the day, man, I can just grab you and sling you up. Naturally, okay. You want to cut things like that out, but they're cutting the whole game out.
Yeah,
you can't even touch the quarterback.
Again, man, I was 6'1". At my peak condition, I was about 185, 190 maybe at the most. About 185 was my playing weight. I understood that being small, like that, playing with guys who were rugged, more muscular. I was muscular, but
right, but you was just a small frame.
I'm a small dude, so
like
I'm
Jerry Rice, man.
Maybe about his size. Yeah, Antonio Brown would be more
shorter,
but he's
muscular.
Right. So when you're built like that and you're smaller and you're playing with these guys, you kind of understand that when you get tackled, you understand how that's going to feel. Yeah. It's different than when Barry Sanders gets tackled. They brought him to the ground, right? Lots of times, thousands of times. Yeah. But it looks different than when you tackle a guy who's built more like me.
Yeah.
And so you understand what comes with that. If I'm coming across the middle, which I would do.
Right.
I already understood that, but when I put my hands on the ball, this safety might just come up here and just kind of pile drive me, having which way it goes. I've gotten lots of concussions playing this sport. Yeah. The thing about it, I don't think the players are the ones who have the issue. I think what happened was there was, the court case. They didn't even make a movie about
it. The CTE.
Yeah, and they just became liable because of how they handled the issue in that era, right? They tried to say, well, there was no relationship there. There was no correlation between playing football and brain injury. And they lied about it, sort of like the Americans did with the cigarette industry.
Right.
For years, you're going to deny the evidence and tell the American public that that's not the evidence. Yeah, I think that's what got them in the hot water they're in now. And I think portions of those safety rules, man, they do mess our sport up.
Like I said, I can understand some of the changes, like that I've never really been a fan, even back in the day, of that hitting a defenseless receiver. I've never been a fan of that. You reaching up, trying to get, and somebody could just come along.
Yeah,
you can break your neck. You know that. You've seen people land on.
Hey, well, let's tell you,
it happened to you.
It happened to me, but they called me the slender bender for a reason too, because I would take advantage when I was on the other side.
Right.
To me, it's like you got to be tough to play the sport, no matter what position you play. And like you say, that. If you're going to take away something, take away the most dangerous thing.
But the horse collar.
But they keep adding to the list of what's dangerous.
Man, this is just nothing now. It's nothing.
Can't hit the quarterback because the quarterback is the moneymaker. Yeah, but we've seen guys coming in now, second string. They're able to play quality football now. See, in the 70s, not so much, right? Because the talent level just wasn't there. If you weren't a starting quarterback, you probably wasn't a good quarterback at that level, right? So. But now I think second stringers can play, man. Some of them. Look at the 49ers did with the second stringer they had.
You're right.
Jalen Hurts came in right away, bam, took whoever spot that guy was. You know what I'm saying? So people can step up, and Dak Prescott was a bench warmer at first, right? And put him in the game, boom, he plays. It's like. So, but they dote so much on the quarterback. I think that's what started it. Is some quarterback got hurt. Joe Theismann, right? And
LT.
Yeah. You know, and the thing is like that takes. At that time, it did change the game how it looked.
Right.
If you got Babe Pirelli in, oh no, you put Mike Krusek in. You know what I'm saying? Joe Pisarcik on the Giants. If you put in a lousy second string quarterback, you're not going to get a product everybody wants to see. I get that.
Right.
But man, you got to play this.
Because now you can't. If you're reaching in, you can't even hit.
You
can't even touch the helmet. That's a flag. That's 15 yards. That's roughing the pass.
And it's got people people don't even want to respect like Tom Brady and his talent and whatnot because he's the beneficiary of that type of treatment. Yeah, you know, when they assume he ain't tough. No, you stand your butt in the pocket and throw when you got these people flying all over the place that you willing, and you're still going to get hit now. It ain't like, you know what I mean?
You're not getting hit at all.
Yeah, you're still being hit unawares and out of the blue, and it's still a rough sport in and of itself, even with all that protection. But still, it's different. You know, when the receiver can go across the middle with impunity, he's not even worried about
what you're going to do to him.
Yeah, and then it also adds, it just adds a lot of, how can I put it? When it causes fans to get angry at certain situations. For instance, when refs call clowning or hitting the guy on split-second activity. Like, what is the cornerback supposed to do when he sees the running back come and look like he's getting ready to maybe leap over him, but changes his mind? Now, what is it?
Hit him in the head.
Now, how is he supposed to? And see, that's the part I'm talking about. I don't know what word describes the emotions.
I know what you're saying.
That happen.
Yeah.
I'm like,
But you still want to charge me with.
And that's my job is to bring them to the ground, right? And so I need to do that and make that happen as efficiently as I can. And you're a football player. You want to send a message. Don't come over here with that. Right?
But if he changes directions at the last minute and you hit him.
Yeah, there's so much of that, man. It gets frustrating. And it's not just when it happens to the Steelers. It happens to
everybody.
All the teams feel the same way. And then we all running around saying the refs. Well, the refs are making these calls against every team, man. Every team
really doing what they're instructed to do.
Yeah.
Because they have to know the rules of the game.
Yeah.
Because they're calling
But
the
I
game.
think it's a shame you can't give a guy like Brady his flowers because you say he played in a soft era. He could have played in any era, man, and been a quarterback. I mean, Joe Namath he's better than Joe Namath was.
Yeah, he's better than Joe Namath.
You know what I'm saying? He's got more skill than Joe Namath has. And Joe Namath got beat up by the sport. And see, they don't want that to happen to the players. So, I mean, I'm with you. I understand some of the concern for the safety, but I think it's overkill.
Yeah, I think they're going too far with it. And after a while, it's not even going to be football.
A lot of people are saying that, man. I'm getting those kinds of vibes, man. We like good old-fashioned football. See, like guys like us in our 50s and up, we remember the old days. Most of the pushback you get on that ruggedness that we admire so much, it comes from these younger folks. You know, the Gen Zers and because they grew up in the Maori era. You know, where everyone participation trophy, everybody's a winner. You know, everyone has fair chance. And football wasn't about fair chances.
It wasn't nothing fair about football.
No, I mean not to the extent like what they're talking about. You know, we didn't have equity. The best guy played. That's in the story, but regardless of what color he was, where he came from, if he was good, you put him on the field. You understand what I'm saying? So that's how that went down, and so you know, you're getting what you get when it comes to that. The product is still a good product, but I wish we could have some of the.
It's not like.
Nah, it's not the same. So when young folks keep coming up to me and saying stuff like that, football, I say you don't know football the way in its essence, because they're taking a lot of the essence away. That's just the way that is. But that's the sign of the times, man. You know, it's gonna. You know, I'm still looking forward to 2023, man.
Of course.
Hey, I think we got a shot at doing something in the playoffs, man. But you got to admit, them Bengals, them Chiefs, those Bills, they're in the way, man, in the NFC.
They are.
What y'all looking at in the NFC? What's your shot? You think it's
Philly, man.
representing?
If Philly is playing anything like if they pick up where they left off at, they're going to be a problem. As far as any other team, the 49ers,
I was thinking
they're still going to be a problem.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
What do you think will happen with the Packers now? They got
The Packers are going to be probably in last place. I don't think they're going to do
see them
nothing
doing nothing.
Not this season.
Yeah, I'm with you. I don't know because I don't know what my man can do.
That's what I'm saying.
When he was in college, I don't remember him. I didn't understand the attraction myself.
Like I say, maybe not this season. See what they do, build around them. They might, but I don't see them. That's the Vikings.
You see the Vikings in that division.
Yeah.
So those are your three teams in the NFC. You're thinking like Philly's a problem, San Francisco's a problem, Minnesota's a problem.
And
I don't see anything coming out of the South.
Yeah, I don't either. I'm sitting there trying to think the Bucks. That could be a toss-up.
The Busters, the best man win.
Yeah, like last year. Like last season.
Just whoever can survive.
Whoever had the best.
Whoever had the most equipment at the end of the game. Y'all win.
Yeah, it was clearly the
Yeah. I think the AFC is pretty much like I explained, man. It's like until you beat one of those, man, you just gotta be quiet. And so the Ravens might have a peep at it. I think the Steelers will be better than a lot of people expect, even certain people in the Steelers Nation.
Besides
that's
Cleveland,
the problem.
Cleveland, we don't know what Cleveland's
That's the problem. But hey, man, look at what they got.
Yeah,
they just didn't produce last year because
he came in at the end. That's what I'm saying. We don't know. But man, that's a tough division, yo.
Yeah, I think it's the toughest football right now. This year, these past 2 seasons, I think those are.
It's the toughest in the league.
I think the AFC East is going to be competitive too, man. You know what I mean? I don't know what Aaron Rodgers' situation is going to look like, but I don't know how to hope for it, but it's going to be making it interesting.
I don't think the Dolphins are going to do nothing.
You don't? You think that poses?
Yeah, I don't think that season going to look like it did last year.
Oh, wow.
I don't.
I
think the Bills.
I think we're going to sneak up and take somebody's slot. One of them good teams.
Miami is not going to do it. I'm telling you, man, the Jets are going to outplay.
Think so? What about the Patriots? Do you think they're going to?
They ain't nothing.
That's more room for us.
The Jets are going to surprise people because, I hear what y'all was saying. Look, at the end of the day, that's still Aaron Rodgers. And if he has just anybody, they had a good receiving team last year. They got a good team. Zach Wilson won some games, and he ain't even that. He's okay. Aaron Rodgers can make something happen.
That's what I'm hearing.
They're not going to the Super Bowl by no means, because they're not going to beat Buffalo. Period. They're not going to beat that. No, they're not going to beat that team. That team is just getting better. The Buffalo, they're not going to beat the Bills. The Bills are running that division until them guys leave. But they got a good squad. They get to the playoffs and just...
See, I'm looking at what we're going to be able to do against teams like that. First of all,
look what y'all did against them last season.
We did, and we played with scraps, right? But here's the thing.
And they had their starters. Their guys.
But that was opening day, too.
They just got
came out like, pop, and then we laid back. Our season kind of was wobbly.
Y'all had some quarterback issues.
We did.
Y'all could get a solid...
Well, we bounced from quarterback to quarterback. Then quarterback get hurt, and you bring the other one back. We went through all of that. I think
receivers in the play quarterback.
Yeah. I think this year will be a little different on that front.
Solid quarterback.
I think
y'all got
I think he's a solid dude. He's put the work in. He's put on weight.
Yeah, he's put on some pounds.
He's gotten some weight. So I've heard people say that putting on muscle weight will help strengthen his arms so he can make deeper throws. I don't think he has a problem with the deep throw. I think the thing with him is anticipating where the spot's going to be for him to put a ball, right? I think he can throw the distance. I think he's waiting. He has to see things happen. Then he's not able to anticipate.
Right.
And that involves you reading the defense, understanding what your player is going to do to that defense and how they're going to respond to what you're doing.
Right.
And so you have to be able to discern that at the line of scrimmage, and I think that's where he came up short. But he was a rookie. A lot of rookies struggle with that. Right, it's not the same as college where they play in these spread offenses.
Right.
Defense only plays that one way, not doing all that trickery. Right. I think he'll get past that. And we got a Cadillac in the backfield, bro. Najee Harris. Come on, that's like your boy Saquon, right? You give him the ball and just watch things rumble. He just come through, jump over you. I'm like, what the heck is that? Right? So if we can block for a cat like that, I think we can make some moves on offense. Our receivers are always selling.
What the receivers looking like?
Come on, man. We drafted. We traded and got a receiver.
Got rid of Claypool.
Claypool left last year. Yeah, so we still got Deontay Johnson, and we got Pickens. Yeah. Come on, man, this dude's catching balls every which way but loose. You know, once he works on his footwork to make sure that he can, when he gets his separation, he knows what to do with it. You know, his route running. Once he gets that together, that's mostly footwork. That's what made AB so special, man, is that footwork, that constant movement of his body in a way that just was deceptive to defensive backs, right? So he could always get open. He had that pure speed. And Johnson, if he can hold on to some of the more difficult passes, I guess sometimes I understand why he might miss a few. I really do. He's targeted a lot, but there are some catches where, like, dude, hold on to that. Like, you know, why are you putting that on the carpet? You know, hold on to that. You know, so that I think that's a wrap there as far as the receivers, man. We got good receivers, and we added another one that we traded for, and the name's not coming to me right off the top of my head, but he's a decent enough receiver. We throw him in the slot. We're good at tight end. You understand? We got Frymouth, we got Hayward, and then we drafted the kid from I think Georgia. And so I think offensively we made some improvement because our first pick was offensive lineman.
Good defense.
Hey man, that dude's a beast. You know, and
that's my college team. You know, I'm a
they got a lot of players drafted this year.
A lot of them.
Yeah, he was running thing. They was like Allen Brown for a little bit. And
back-to-back national champions.
Yeah, man. They always putting quality players in the league. So we shored up there. I think where we're still a little weak maybe is the linebacker spot. We're still kind of optimistic to see how that's going to work. But we drafted Joey Porter Jr. You know, his dad played for the Steelers. Yeah. So I think, and we drafted a defensive lineman. We got 2 new defensive linemen. We got Cam Hayward is still there. We got T.J. Watt coming back. Defense, we gonna be some bruises. We're gonna be a problem with the defense.
That's one thing with the Giants, man. We're not playing the type of defense that I was been used to over the years. We're last, and we have no pass rushing. We're last in sacks every single season.
You see, we don't have that. We got T.J. Watt. You know, one side you got High Swift on the other. We're gonna be a problem defensively.
We had nothing. After the JPP blew up his hands, and that was pretty much the end of the pass rush. We haven't had pass rushes in years. We're last in sacks every season. We don't put we're just letting the quarterback do what he wants to do.
We can't afford to do that, bro. Look at the quarterbacks we got in our division. We got Burrow. Chase is a problem. I want to shoot him myself sometimes. I'm like, yo, if I see you on the street, dude, you know, I'm coming for your kneecaps. I'm telling you, because covering him, I'm sitting on the edge of my chair every time they drop back for a pass and they throw and I see a 1 in the area. I'm like, this dude, he's a killer.
Yeah, he's a killer.
So we can't afford to let quarterbacks sit in the pocket. We run into the cross of Lamar Jackson. Yeah. Come on, he says he wants to pass more now.
Yeah,
so we got to worry about that. And Deshaun Watson.
Yeah.
You say he's at the basement. They're at the base. That's the bottom. That's the bottom feeder.
Yeah, I don't know.
We got the worst quarterback in the division. When you start lining them up.
Yeah. I just think Cleveland as a team. I don't know. They're going to have to show me something because
we're going to see.
They haven't, like I say, Deshaun Watson just came back at the end and they was already losing because the guy they had, what was the guy?
Baker Mayfield.
No, the other guy, the black guy. He's lousy. Yeah.
I don't know, the backup.
Garbage.
I know you're talking about. I don't know why the names ain't coming to these.
Yeah, because he stinks.
Yeah. But Bissett is.
Bissett.
Yeah.
He just didn't fit in that organization to me.
Right. I mean, well, he's a good backup.
Yeah, he's a decent backup quarterback.
I put him in. He's in my 10. He might even be my 5 or backup.
He just didn't fit right there.
Yeah.
They had going.
Yeah. He's always a filling guy. He's with the Colts.
He's with the Colts. But I actually thought when he came in with the weapons he had and the team that they had, that he just lucked up. He's on a team.
I know, he never impressed me like that. It was like when we had Mason Rudolph. Yes,
right.
He'll hold it down for a few weeks, man, but you ain't trying to run your team through that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
But I'll need to see what Deshaun Watson is going to do in a full season with this team. Because he got that Donovan Peoples-Jones.
Yeah, he's nice. He's got a nice squad to work with, man. And their defense still is a defense. As long as you got Myles Garrett bearing down on your quarterback, I mean, they're going to be a problem. So I'm looking forward to
that division, man. It's
tough. I'm looking forward to it. If we can beat any one of them, like right away, you understand what I'm saying? Oh, that's going to build confidence right there. Still, the nation about to be waving them towels, bro. We're going to be waving them towels. I think we're going to be able to get in the playoffs. And then you have to play from there. I hate to make playoff predictions because once you get to the playoffs, it changes a lot. A person bears down on what you do. It's not week to week. You understand what I'm saying? Like, I got a week to prepare just for what you do. Mark Snick's what we did. See, like when you're in the regular season, you can't Mark Snick what you did 2 weeks ago in the same way.
Right.
Some of that, you got to bring that back, right? It's what you call your identity. Right. In the playoffs, you don't need that identity.
Right.
You need the W, so you do whatever.
Do whatever it takes for that one day.
Oh, well, heck yeah. Why do you think the 49ers got to playoffs and let their quarterback pass, 4 times? The whole game, 4 quarterback attempts? I've seen running high school teams pass more than that. So I'm like, so it's not about identity at that point when you're in the playoffs, man. So, that's why I said I don't want to predict playoff stuff. You don't know what you're going to get there. Right. Cold weather in some places.
Right.
Sometimes it's warm
weather. Where is the
Super
Bowl being held this year, you know?
Oh, shoot. I should know that. Yeah, maybe I'll look that up and get the commercial. Where is the Super Bowl? Look that up, man, while we chop this out. I'm going to go ahead and close it on out anyway.
Okay.
Then what I'll do is I'll record your answer right in its place like we knew it all along.
Right. Here we go.
I'm supposed to know. Is it Atlanta?
Super Bowl 2023. I'm not sure. State Farm Stadium. Arizona,
okay. All right, yeah. So, State Farm Stadium, Arizona. You know, Pittsburgh will be meeting the Giants.
I love my team.
Go ahead and say it, man. Steelers, Giants.
I love my team. I would love to see. I would love to see some, but I need to see before I can make any prediction. Yes, I would hope that's the case.
Yeah.
But I have to see what my team has before I can even make a prediction about any playoffs or any.
Well, you heard it here first, then. I would say it, man. Giants will be playing Steelers
in the Super Bowl.
Yeah, man.
I would hope so.
That'd be good.
Because if my guys are healthy Giants, yes.
You gotta be healthy.
We went to the playoffs with all backups. Half of our offensive line was out. Our receivers was out. All we had was Saquon and Danny Jones.
Yeah, y'all definitely made some improvements from the to last year. Y'all might have made a little bit more noise if you had all.
Our team is healthy. Yes, we can make that run.
Yeah, that's good. Well, look, man. It's been good chopping it up.
Oh, yes.
We got a chance to kick.
We got a chance.
Boy. Like I say, man.
This is the only time we're shaking hands.
That's right, when we meet in Arizona, bro, it's going to be strictly business.
That's right. It's the only time we're shaking hands.
Yep. But I wanted to say it's an honor to get you to come in and sit down with me and chop it up like this because you see what I'm trying to do, by throwing some broadcasting entertainment out there for people who like football and want to talk about it, without all of the unnecessary
Foolishness.
Yeah, arguing, fussing, fighting, name calling, backbiting.
Yeah.
I don't want to do all that. I just want to come on here and talk about, chop it up like we used to do back in the day.
That's it.
You know what I mean? So thanks for participating.
My pleasure.
Coming, bro. Hey, look, I'm gonna get you to touch the. Touch the towel. We get you to touch the towel, man. You gotta I know you don't normally do.
Normally I don't do nothing.
Hey, look. When I come to your house, see, I'll be able to screenshot that. I'll be able to screenshot that.
Oh, okay.
So I come to your crib. I touch the wall. He got a little man cave with all the giants over there. He's doing something. He's great timing it. So I'll concede for that. You know what I'm saying? Nothing but love.
Oh, that's it.
All right. Well, peace everybody out there. Y'all be safe. Take care of yourselves, and hope you enjoyed the broadcast and the conversation. Thanks for stopping by.
Hey man, that's all right.
Right.